Hey, good morning, friends. So let's have a little bit of geek speak this morning and learn about blood spikes. Happy Tuesday, everyone. So I know I said we were going to try that Ross chocolate today, and weirdly, not related to the topic. It's just not in the mood. And so I don't feel like eating chocolate just because I'm making a video. I know, sorry. I promise I'll be in the mood for chocolate soon. Just, I don't know, whatever. I'm really wanting meat. So it's just one of those days. Hey, it's better than days when you're like, I really want all the chocolate. Am I right? But I thought today would be great to talk about a serious topic, one that comes up in keto group after keto group after keto group. And we sort of missed the mark on it because we know it's important, but uh, we only read up on the internet, and sometimes we take small phrases that popular people say, and then they're interpreted, and then they go through the internet reality filter, and by the time it's all said and done, it's really got people worked up and uh, factually incorrect, and then so they are getting more and more restrictive, and their choices are getting harder and harder because they're trying to adhere to a standard that is next to impossible. So, what am I talking about? Blood spikes. Yes, the high rise in your blood sugars. So, it is a big deal. It's a huge deal if you're diabetic. Even if you are eating ketogenically, if you're diabetic, blood spikes are a huge, enormous deal. Um, and what does that mean anyway? So sometimes when you eat foods, especially if you're diabetic, it can cause your blood sugars to rise to unhealthy levels after you eat. So what does that mean, an unhealthy level? And what is a spike in the first place? So let's start at the beginning. So normal blood sugars should be between 80 to 130. So, and that's what you would get on your meter. You would get a meter, or you prick your little finger, or you scan if you've got a CGM, or all kinds of different ways to get blood sugar readings. But you would get that, and it'll do a little analysis and measure your blood sugar levels, your blood glucose, and it'll ping back and give you these numbers. So you should be between 80 and 130. Yes, that's a large range. No, your goal is not to get as low as possible and never ever go any higher above that. I do see a lot of that where people are like freaking out because my blood sugar is normally 60 and it went all the way up to 75. Eat some food. You need food. Your body is telling you that you need food because your blood sugars are actually too low. Don't worry. Actually, a lot of times, if you are a ketogenic eater and you've had any sort of diabetes type 2, or like in my case, hyperglycemia, oftentimes 70 to 80 does tend to be normal, but you definitely feel it if you go any lower and you get that woozy kind of yucky feeling and you need to eat. And the weird part is the more you need to eat, the more you really don't want to. Like you're like, I don't know why. I'm like, because you eat and then like 15 minutes later you immediately feel tons better, but you resist it so hardcore, and I don't know why. Part of that is because it gives you nausea. I don't know. And it's like, yeah, but the nausea will go away if you eat something. But oh no, I can't. Weird things, right? Okay, so we've got that down. Normal blood sugar readings before eating when you're fasted. This is not talking about dawn effect. That's advanced stuff. We're going right down to the very beginning. Between 80 and 130. So if you go to the drugstore and you buy yourself a glucose meter because you're curious about learning about your body, or your doctor suggested you try it out, 80 to 130, you are fine. Now, after you eat, it's normal for your blood sugar levels to rise uh, up to all the way to like 180. Sometimes, somewhere I've seen people get freaked out. Oh, it should never rise more than 10 points. That's not true. I mean, is it nice when it doesn't? Like you eat a big old honking steak and it only goes up like 4 points? Yeah, but also there's no reason to freak out if you eat like some cauliflower and it goes up to like 160. And like I said, it needs to remain under 180. And what will happen is that after a couple hours, when you test again, uh, those blood sugars should have gone down and they should be close to or even at normal again. Uh, yeah, that's a lot of room. No reason to freak out. And I see people all the time. My blood sugars went all the way up to 125. I'm normally at 70. Now, that's fine. They can do that. It is not a diabetic issue. It is not an anti-ketosis issue. It is not anything at all other than that's actually a normal insulin response from your body. So I think I mean, when I learned this, it was great because I did used to get myself really worked up and I used to feel like I was on the struggle bus and no matter what I was doing, uh, turns out I needed to just relax. Goodness. So, okay, so then what is a spike if it's not just 10 points extra of a rise? So, a spike is when you eat something and your blood sugar levels rapidly rise. I mean, like really fast, and you can kind of feel it because you don't feel great. And they go over 180 or, 180, 185, or even well over 200. And then it stays there. Like if you are doing like aggressive testing and you test at 15 minutes after, 30 minutes after, an hour, and 2 hours, you'd be able to see that cycle of a slow, gentle rise and then a slow lowering. When you see a spike, uh, it goes like from normal, bang, way up high, and then it stays there for a really long time. Instead of coming that slow, gentle lower back down after the 2 hour mark, it's just bang, it's there, and you don't feel good. So, uh, maybe even barely lowering. If you go to like 220 and at the 2 hour mark, you've gone down to like maybe 215, 210. Yeah, that's a spike. 2 hours later and nothing's changed, and or sometimes you're even still going climbing. That's a spike. And why is that important that we worry about spikes? Well, if it's over 200, you should know that it can give you symptoms like extra excessive thirst, uh, fatigue, like you just need to lay down, nausea, which by the way, I mentioned you get nausea with low blood sugars too. So if you're not just right, nausea can be a thing. Feeling confused or agitated. So, and frequent need to pee, or sometimes it's hard to see, your vision gets blurry. Um, Not to be confused, because sometimes if you're a ketogenic eater, you're drinking a bunch of electrolytes and things are flushing because ketones, not ketoacidosis, ketogenesis, and ketoacidosis are not the same thing. But when you are producing a lot of ketones, it does flush your water out of your body. It is a diuretic, so not that kind of frequent urination. It's different, even though the symptom is the same. So those are things you want to pay attention to, and you want to be careful about that because if you are having lots of spikes and lots of spikes, you're going through these, it's very hard on your body. It's detrimental. Are there things you can do to control it besides diet? I mean, diet is the number one thing that you need to be mindful of, and that's not just a proponent for a ketogenic diet, although that is my preference because it worked wonders for me. But I am not a medical professional. You need to work with your medical professional. And actually, I'd really say, even if it's your own medical professional, is well worth all of the effort you may need to put in to call Verta Health and get in with their consulting. They are diabetic experts and amazing. Like, I really hope that they actually do what Dr. Naiman said, which was hopefully their uh, medical practice and their process and procedures take off, and then it helps change the way medical works in the United States. I think that would be super groovy. But regardless, those are some great examples, and I just wanted to share that with you because, like I said, I used to feel so much stress, so much over like very teeny little swings, and I never realized that even because I was hyperglycemic, I used to be very, very, very vigilant. And I didn't know better. You would think that you know they would teach you, but you don't get taught. You get general, broad, sweeping things, and then you look things up on the internet, and the information is not necessarily accurate or correct. So it's been bothering me because I see so many people struggling and so many people in really worked up. You don't have to, and if you're not diabetic, you have to worry even less. Now that's not the go ahead to go and like go all wild and not make better choices for your body's health. That's not what I'm saying, but I am saying you have better tools to help make your choices. So I hope that that was some useful information. That's it. Very easy today, right? So enjoy and ask questions. I am not a medical professional. I am just a gigantic data nerd. And so, you know, talk to your own doctor. If you have more questions, they will love to talk to you about it, I promise. So, and if they don't, then you should go to another doctor because most doctors would love to share this information and help us all be slightly more educated. So, I hope that you are having an amazing day. Why don't you share below with me what your experiences have been with your blood sugar reading experimentations? Because I know a lot of you have for a variety of reasons. Share with me. Let's talk through it. And if anything I said was confusing or has blown your mind or reinforced what you already knew, share that. Let's talk about it. I think that this is excellent opportunity for us to knowledge share and to give each other support. So let's do it. And if this is your first video here, I hope you got to learn something new. I know that I release videos on Tuesdays, usually on Fridays where I have a Cheese Friday series. And then on Sundays, we host a live stream called Coffee Talk, where we brew a warm beverage, or, well, sometimes we brew and then ice a beverage, and then we pair it with a ketogenic recipe because I'm a ketogenic eater. So hit that subscribe button and then the little bell icon so you're notified whenever I upload or go live. And I will see you all fine, wonderful people real soon. Bye bye.